It's a harsh reality. But some people in our lives derive pleasure from causing harm and chaos. Imagine sharing moments and placing your trust in someone, only to later realize they are the very source of your turmoil. Today, we delve deep into a topic that is as fascinating as it is frightening, recognizing the signs that you are dealing with an evil person. Whether it's a colleague, a friend, or even a family member, these individuals can be masters of deception, hiding their true nature behind a facade of charm and charisma. This exploration of the darker side of human behavior is not just out of curiosity. Understanding these signs can be life-changing. The Stoics believed in the power of perception and the importance of living a life guided by reason and virtue. By identifying and understanding these toxic traits, we can protect our peace of mind and cultivate healthier relationships, adhering to the Stoic principles of wisdom and self-control. Stay with us as we uncover 5 telltale signs of an evil person. By the end of this video, you'll not only be better equipped to spot these behaviors, but also learn practical ways to safeguard your mental health and well-being. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you liked the video. You can help me continue spreading the Stoic philosophy. If you are not subscribed, I recommend you subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment number 1. If you don't, please comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's begin. When discussing people who initially seem charming and charismatic, it's crucial to remember that appearances can be deceiving. These individuals often have a way of lighting up a room, making everyone around them feel special and valued. They know exactly what to say to make you feel like you've just made a new best friend. At first glance, they appear to be the perfect person, witty, engaging, and seemingly interested in your life. It's easy to get swept up in their charm, believing you found someone truly special. However, the Stoics teach us to look beyond the surface and seek the truth through rational thought and observation. Over time, you might start to notice little cracks in their facade. Perhaps they always need to be the center of attention, overshadowing others in social settings. They might talk over you, interrupt you, or subtly put you down in front of others. These aren't just quirks or signs of an extroverted personality, they're red flags. The Stoics would advise us to observe these behaviors with a clear mind, unclouded by the initial excitement of their charisma. Recognizing these signs is crucial for maintaining our mental and emotional well-being. It allows us to distance ourselves from toxic influences and maintain relationships that are nourishing and supportive. By staying vigilant and adhering to Stoic principles, we can navigate our social interactions with wisdom and strength, ensuring that our lives are filled with positive, uplifting connections. Picture yourself at a vibrant party, where one individual effortlessly commands attention with their humor and captivating storytelling. Initially, their presence is magnetic, drawing you into their orbit of laughter and animated conversation. However, as the evening progresses, a subtle shift occurs. Every discussion seems to circle back to them. Your attempts to share your anecdotes or thoughts are swiftly redirected or overshadowed by your narratives and experiences. What began as charming charisma begins to reveal a deeper self-centeredness. In such moments, the Stoic principle of apatheia, maintaining inner calm and clarity despite external distractions, proves invaluable. By cultivating emotional equilibrium, you can peer beyond their captivating facade and discern the underlying nature of their interactions. Equally crucial is observing how they handle adversity and differing opinions. A genuinely compassionate person responds to setbacks and disagreements with humility and understanding, reflecting genuine character depth. Conversely, someone motivated solely by the desire for approval may react with frustration, defensiveness, or even manipulation when faced with challenges. Their reactions betray a lack of inner virtue and rationality. According to Stoic philosophy, such responses serve as clear indicators of moral integrity. Marcus Aurelius cautioned against forming deep connections with individuals prone to anger and manipulation, as these traits contradict the virtues of wisdom and kindness. Being mindful of these behaviors allows one to navigate social dynamics with clarity and integrity, fostering genuine connections based on mutual respect and authenticity. taking your time and trusting your instincts are paramount when navigating social relationships, according to Stoic philosophy. The Stoics emphasized the power of keen observation and cautioned against hastily forming judgments based on initial impressions. Epictetus, in particular, taught the importance of thoroughly assessing the character of those we allow into our inner circle. If someone appears exceptionally charming or too good to be true, it's wise to give yourself the space and time to observe their behavior over a period. This observation should extend beyond their interactions with you to how they treat others, especially when they believe no one is watching. The true character often reveals itself in these unguarded moments, showcasing whether their actions align with their outward demeanor. It's essential to recognize that not everyone who exudes charm and charisma does so with genuine intentions. Some individuals may use these qualities as tools for manipulation, masking their true motives beneath a charismatic facade. By staying grounded and mindful, adhering to Stoic principles of wisdom and discernment, one can shield oneself from falling prey to superficial appearances. Another critical indicator to watch for is a lack of empathy. Empathy, the ability to understand and share others' feelings, forms the foundation of meaningful human connections. It enables us to offer support, build trust, and foster genuine relationships. However, individuals devoid of empathy demonstrate a concerning disregard for how their actions impact others. Their indifference can inflict significant harm on those around them, highlighting a stark divergence from virtuous conduct as advocated by Stoic teachings. The Stoics placed great emphasis on virtues like compassion and understanding, seeing them as essential for harmonious human relationships and personal well-being. Marcus Aurelius frequently discussed how interconnected humanity is, stressing the importance of considering others' welfare as integral to our own. Imagine confiding something deeply personal to a friend, seeking comfort or understanding, only to receive indifference or even ridicule instead of empathy. This lack of empathy can leave you feeling isolated and misunderstood. It goes beyond just not being supportive during tough times. It extends to a failure to share in your joys or acknowledge your accomplishments. A person lacking empathy won't genuinely celebrate your successes. They may belittle them or attempt to overshadow them. This behavior isn't confined to personal relationships. Consider a manager who disregards their employees' well-being by demanding excessive hours without adequate compensation, dismissing requests for time off, or publicly shaming staff rather than offering constructive guidance. Such actions cultivate a toxic work environment, where employees feel undervalued and stressed. In such scenarios, Stoic philosophy advises maintaining inner peace and integrity. Recognize that the lack of empathy in others reflects their character, not yours. By focusing on your values and responses, you can navigate challenging situations with clarity and resilience. Stoicism encourages us to uphold empathy and compassion as guiding principles, fostering healthier relationships and environments where mutual respect and support thrive. Moreover, a lack of empathy can lead to even more troubling behaviors. Individuals who lack empathy often exhibit actions that are not merely insensitive but actively cruel, demonstrating a complete absence of guilt or remorse. They may resort to deception, manipulation, or even physical harm without considering the consequences of their actions. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, emphasized the importance of kindness and justice, teaching that our behavior should always reflect our inner moral compass. When empathy is lacking, individuals disconnect themselves from these fundamental principles. The absence of empathy also manifests in subtle yet significant ways in everyday interactions. For example, you might notice someone who consistently interrupts conversations to redirect attention to themselves, shows little interest in others' perspectives, or fails to offer support when it is needed. While these behaviors might seem minor individually, they collectively reveal deeper character traits. The Stoics would urge us to be observant and discerning, recognizing that these seemingly small actions are indicative of a person's true nature. When dealing with individuals who consistently lack empathy, it becomes essential to establish clear boundaries to protect your mental and emotional well-being. Stoic philosophy emphasizes the importance of maintaining inner peace and not allowing the negativity of others to disturb it. You have the right to distance yourself from those who drain your energy and diminish your sense of tranquility. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Additionally, manipulation stands out as a significant sign of malicious behavior. Manipulation involves the use of deceitful tactics to control or influence others for personal gain. It is a subtle and insidious behavior that can cause profound harm to those targeted by it. Manipulators excel at distorting reality, instilling doubt in your perceptions, and coercing you to act against your interests. This can leave you feeling confused, powerless, and unsure of your judgment. Examining manipulation through the lens of Stoic philosophy provides a valuable framework for understanding and addressing this challenging behavior. The Stoics placed great importance on clarity of thought and the ability to perceive the world as it truly is. They taught that our perceptions should be firmly grounded in reality, and that we must steadfastly adhere to our principles, regardless of external pressures or attempts to sway us. When someone manipulates you, their goal is to cloud your perception and distort your understanding of reality, thereby making it difficult for you to remain true to these Stoic ideals. One common and insidious form of manipulation is gaslighting. This technique involves the manipulator attempting to make you doubt your memory, perception, or sanity. They might flatly deny that certain events took place, or they might twist your words and actions to make you feel culpable for situations beyond your control. For example, if you confront a friend about a hurtful comment they made, instead of taking responsibility, they might accuse you of being overly sensitive or misremembering the situation entirely. This can erode your confidence, making you increasingly reliant on the manipulator's skewed version of reality. Manipulators are also adept at playing the victim. They might employ guilt-tripping tactics to coerce you into doing things you're uncomfortable with, by making you feel responsible for their happiness or well-being. For instance, you might have a friend who constantly complains about their problems and expects you to drop everything to help them, yet they are conspicuously absent when you need support. They might say things like, "If you were my friend, you'd do this for me," effectively pressuring you into compliance by questioning the authenticity of your friendship. From a Stoic perspective, the key to dealing with manipulation lies in recognizing these tactics for what they truly are: deliberate attempts to obscure your judgment and divert you from your principles. By maintaining a clear, reality-based perspective, you can see through the manipulator's strategies and remain grounded in your values. This means being vigilant about the integrity of your perceptions and consistently aligning your actions with your principles, no matter the external pressures you face. To further illustrate, let's consider another example. Imagine you're at work, and a colleague is trying to offload their responsibilities onto you. They might frame it as a one-time favor, or imply that they are overwhelmed and need your help to manage. Over time, this behavior can escalate, with a colleague increasingly relying on you to complete their tasks while taking credit for your hard work. Recognizing this pattern is crucial. Instead of acquiescing to their manipulative behavior, a Stoic approach would involve calmly asserting your boundaries and ensuring that your responsibilities and well-being are not compromised. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, underscored the importance of distinguishing between what is within our control and what is not. We cannot control the actions or emotions of others, we can only control our response to them. This principle is crucial when dealing with manipulation, as manipulators often seek to influence and control us through various tactics. One common manipulative tactic is the use of flattery or charm. Initially, this can feel wonderful, as the manipulator showers you with compliments and makes you feel special. However, over time, you may notice that their praise comes with strings attached. They might expect you to do favors for them, or behave in certain ways to earn their approval. This creates a dynamic where you are constantly seeking their validation, causing you to lose sight of your values and autonomy. To counter manipulation, the Stoics would advise us to remain steadfast in our principles and rely on our rational judgment. It is crucial to recognize when someone is attempting to manipulate you and to set clear boundaries. Do not allow their tactics to sway you from what you know to be right. Practice discernment and trust in your ability to see through their deceit. Moreover, the Stoics believed in the strength of inner virtue and character. They taught that no external force should have the power to corrupt our inner moral compass. By adhering to this teaching, you can protect yourself from manipulation. Remind yourself of your worth and the values you hold dear. Stay grounded in your reality and be cautious of those who seek to bend it to their will. For example, consider how a manipulator might use flattery or charm to get their way. At first, this can feel great. They might shower you with compliments and make you feel special, but over time you might notice that their praise comes with strings attached. They might expect you to do favors for them or behave in certain ways in return for their approval. This creates a dynamic where you are constantly seeking their validation, losing sight of your values and autonomy. To deal with manipulation, the Stoics would advise us to remain firm in our principles and to rely on our rational judgment. It's important to recognize when someone is attempting to manipulate you and to set clear boundaries. Don't allow their tactics to sway you from what you know to be right. Practice discernment and trust in your ability to see through their deceit. Moreover, the Stoics believed in the strength of inner virtue and character. They taught that no external force should have the power to corrupt our inner moral compass. By adhering to this teaching, you can protect yourself from manipulation. Remind yourself of your worth and the values you hold dear. Stay grounded in your reality and be cautious of those who seek to bend it to their will. For instance, if a colleague is trying to offload their responsibilities onto you, they might frame it as a one-time favor or imply that they are overwhelmed and need your help. Over time, this behavior can escalate, with the colleague increasingly relying on you to complete their tasks while taking credit for your hard work. Recognizing this pattern is crucial. Instead of acquiescing to their manipulative behavior, a Stoic approach would involve calmly asserting your boundaries and ensuring that your responsibilities and well-being are not compromised. The fourth sign of an evil person is their persistent refusal to take responsibility for their actions. While everyone makes mistakes and occasionally causes harm, a person of good character will acknowledge their faults and strive to make amends. In stark contrast, an evil person will never admit to being wrong. They consistently deflect blame, concoct excuses, and project their shortcomings onto others. This behavior can be incredibly frustrating and damaging to relationships, as it prevents any possibility of resolution or growth. From a Stoic perspective, taking responsibility is crucial for personal development and the maintenance of healthy relationships. The Stoics placed great emphasis on self-reflection and accountability. Marcus Aurelius, a prominent Stoic philosopher, wrote extensively about the necessity of examining our actions and striving for self-improvement each day. When someone refuses to take responsibility, they deny themselves the opportunity for growth and improvement. Consider how an evil person might react when confronted with their wrongdoing. Instead of acknowledging their mistake and apologizing, they might accuse you of overreacting or being overly sensitive. They might even turn the situation around, claiming that you are the one who wronged them. This tactic not only absolves them of responsibility but also shifts the focus away from their behavior, leaving you feeling confused and unjustly blamed. In Stoic philosophy, taking responsibility is not just about admitting faults but also about actively seeking to correct them and learn from the experience. This practice is seen as a crucial step in the journey toward becoming a better person. By avoiding responsibility, an evil person remains stagnant, failing to grow or learn from their experiences. This refusal to engage in self-improvement is a fundamental aspect of their character, as they prioritize their ego over genuine progress. Moreover, the Stoics believe that personal integrity and honesty are vital components of a virtuous life. A person who continually deflects blame and refuses to take responsibility is living in denial of these principles. They create a false reality where they are always the victim, never the perpetrator, and this lack of honesty can poison their relationships and interactions with others. For instance, in a workplace setting, if an individual makes a mistake on a project, a responsible person would acknowledge the error, seek to understand what went wrong, and work to correct it. An irresponsible person, however, might shift the blame to a colleague or external factors, thereby avoiding any repercussions. This behavior not only disrupts team dynamics but also prevents the individual from learning and improving their skills. In personal relationships, this refusal to take responsibility can be even more damaging. Imagine a scenario where a partner consistently dismisses your feelings and concerns, turning every issue into an argument about your perceived flaws. This deflection prevents any constructive dialogue and leaves you feeling isolated and invalidated. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. The Stoics also taught that true power lies in our ability to control our reactions and responses, not in controlling others. When faced with an evil person who refuses to take responsibility, the Stoic approach would involve setting clear boundaries and maintaining your integrity. You cannot force them to change, but you can choose how you respond to their behavior. This might mean distancing yourself from toxic relationships or calmly asserting your perspective without being drawn into their manipulative tactics. Furthermore, the Stoics emphasized the importance of inner virtue and character. They believed that no external force should have the power to corrupt our inner moral compass. By adhering to this teaching, you can protect yourself from the manipulative behavior of others. Remind yourself of your worth and the values you hold dear. Stay grounded in your reality, and be cautious of those who seek to bend it to their will. In a workplace setting, this refusal to take responsibility can be particularly damaging. Consider a colleague who never admits to errors, even when their mistakes are evident. They might blame others for their failures or fabricate excuses to mask their incompetence. This creates a toxic environment where accountability is absent and others are left to deal with the consequences. The Stoics would advise us to maintain our integrity, ensuring that the irresponsibility of others does not influence our commitment to doing what is right. It's also important to observe how these individuals handle success. When things go well, they are quick to take credit, even for work they did not contribute to. They revel in the praise and attention, often exaggerating their contributions. This is another way they evade responsibility, as they refuse to acknowledge the efforts of others or the importance of teamwork in achieving success. The Stoics valued humility and the understanding that we are all interconnected and reliant on one another. By refusing to take responsibility for failures and overclaiming success, an evil person demonstrates a lack of these virtues. A person who can't take responsibility is also likely to avoid any form of self-reflection. They are unwilling to look inward and critically examine their behavior. This lack of introspection prevents them from learning from their mistakes and making positive changes. The Stoics believed that self-awareness and continuous improvement are essential to living a virtuous life. Without these practices, an individual remains stagnant and disconnected from their growth potential. For example, imagine a team project where one member consistently fails to meet deadlines and deliver quality work. Instead of acknowledging their shortcomings and seeking ways to improve, they blame their teammates or external factors. This behavior not only hampers the progress of the project but also erodes trust and cooperation within the team. A responsible individual would recognize their mistakes, apologize, and take proactive steps to avoid repeating them. If you encounter someone who consistently refuses to take responsibility, it is crucial to set boundaries and protect your well-being. Recognize that their inability to own up to their actions is a reflection of their character, not yours. Maintain your standards of accountability and integrity, and seek out relationships with those who share these values. Moreover, the Stoic approach to dealing with such individuals involves practicing patience and compassion. Understand that their refusal to take responsibility stems from their insecurities and fears. While it is important to protect yourself, it is also beneficial to approach the situation with empathy. Encourage open communication and offer support for their growth, but be prepared to distance yourself if their behavior continues to negatively impact you. The fifth sign of an evil person is their malicious intent. This is perhaps the most straightforward yet deeply unsettling trait. Malicious intent means that the person deliberately seeks to cause harm or distress to others. They derive satisfaction from the suffering they inflict, whether through physical, emotional, or psychological means. This goes beyond simple selfishness or insensitivity. It is a deliberate choice to hurt others. The Stoics believed in the inherent value of human beings and the importance of treating others with respect and kindness. Malicious intent is the antithesis of these values. It represents a fundamental disregard for the well-being of others and a deep-seated malevolence. Imagine someone who spreads rumors and lies about others, knowing full well the damage they will cause. They might do this out of jealousy, spite, or simply for their amusement. The Stoics would recognize this behavior as a clear sign of a lack of virtue. A person with malicious intent is not guided by reason or compassion, but by a desire to dominate and harm. Malicious intent can also manifest in more subtle ways, such as passive-aggressive behavior or intentional sabotage. For example, a colleague might intentionally withhold important information from you, causing you to fail in your tasks. Or a friend might give you bad advice on purpose, knowing it will lead to negative consequences for you. These actions, though less overt than physical harm, are still driven by a desire to see you suffer. The Stoics teach us to respond to such malevolence with equanimity and inner strength. Marcus Aurelius advised us to meet wrongdoing with understanding and to recognize that those who harm others are often acting out of ignorance or a troubled soul. This perspective allows us to maintain our peace of mind and not be drawn into a cycle of negativity and retaliation. However, understanding the roots of malicious behavior does not mean tolerating it. The Stoics also believed in the importance of protecting oneself and upholding justice. If you find yourself dealing with someone who exhibits malicious intent, it's crucial to set firm boundaries and seek support if needed. Don't allow their behavior to undermine your self-worth or disrupt your life. In dealing with such individuals, the Stoics would advise us to remain steadfast in our integrity, not allowing ourselves to be swayed by the deceitful actions of others. Epictetus taught that we should focus on what we can control, our thoughts and actions, and not be disturbed by the dishonesty of those around us. Pathological lying is another destructive behavior often found in such individuals. In personal relationships, this can be even more damaging. Imagine being in a relationship with someone who constantly lies about their whereabouts, their past, or their feelings. This behavior can make you feel insecure, anxious, and constantly questioning your perceptions. You might find yourself doubting your memory or second-guessing your instincts, which is exactly what the liar wants. They thrive on creating confusion and instability, keeping you off balance so they can maintain control. The Stoics would remind us to trust our judgment and not be swayed by the manipulations of others. Seneca taught that true peace comes from within, and that we should not allow the deceit of others to disturb our inner tranquility. One of the most insidious aspects of pathological lying is that it's often difficult to detect at first. Pathological liars can be incredibly convincing, telling their lies with such confidence and detail that it's hard not to believe them. They might mix truth with lies, making it even more challenging to discern what's real. The Stoic approach to handling such deceit involves a commitment to clarity, reality, and steadfastness in one's principles. By recognizing manipulative tactics and maintaining a firm grasp of your perceptions and values, you can effectively resist manipulation and stay true to yourself. This resilience not only protects your integrity, but also strengthens your ability to navigate relationships and situations with wisdom and composure. This is where the Stoic principle of vigilance becomes essential. We must remain observant and critical, not taking things at face value, but instead seeking the truth through careful consideration and evidence. When you catch someone in a lie, pay attention to how they react. Do they become defensive or aggressive? Do they try to turn the tables and blame you? Or do they offer a plausible explanation that seems to make sense, even if it's just another layer of deceit? A genuine person will admit to their mistakes and strive to correct them, while a pathological liar will double down on their falsehoods, weaving an even more intricate web of lies. The Stoics would counsel us to remain calm and rational in the face of such behavior, recognizing it for what it is and not allowing it to provoke us. It's also important to consider the long-term impact of pathological lying. Over time, it can erode the very foundation of trust that any relationship is built upon. Once trust is broken, it's incredibly difficult to rebuild. You might find yourself constantly suspicious, always wondering if you're being lied to again. This can lead to a toxic cycle of mistrust and resentment. The Stoics believed in the importance of building strong, honest relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. When dealing with a pathological liar, you must decide whether it's worth trying to rebuild that trust or whether it's healthier to distance yourself from their toxic influence. If you find yourself entangled with a pathological liar, it's crucial to set firm boundaries and protect your own mental and emotional well-being. The Stoics would advise us to remain true to our values and principles, not allowing ourselves to be dragged down by the deceit of others. Be clear about what you will and will not tolerate, and don't be afraid to walk away from a relationship or situation that is built on lies. Remember, your peace of mind and integrity are more important than maintaining a connection with someone who consistently deceives you. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. The Stoic principle of vigilance teaches us to be perceptive and critical, always seeking the truth through careful consideration and evidence. When you catch someone in a lie, observe their reaction. Do they become defensive or aggressive? Do they try to shift the blame onto you? Or do they offer a plausible explanation that might be another layer of deceit? A genuine person will admit their mistakes and strive to correct them, while a pathological liar will double down on their falsehoods, creating an even more complex web of lies. The Stoics would advise us to remain calm and rational in the face of such behavior, recognizing it for what it is and not allowing it to provoke us. It's crucial to consider the long-term impact of pathological lying. Over time, it can erode the foundation of trust that any relationship is built upon. Once trust is broken, it's incredibly difficult to rebuild. You might find yourself constantly suspicious, always wondering if you're being lied to again. This can lead to a toxic cycle of mistrust and resentment. The Stoics believed in the importance of building strong, honest relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. When dealing with a pathological liar, you must decide whether it's worth trying to rebuild that trust or if it's healthier to distance yourself from their toxic influence. If you find yourself entangled with a pathological liar, it's crucial to set firm boundaries and protect your mental and emotional well-being. The Stoics would counsel us to remain true to our values and principles, not allowing ourselves to be dragged down by the deceit of others. Be clear about what you will and will not tolerate, and don't be afraid to walk away from a relationship or situation built on lies. Remember, your peace of mind and integrity are more important than maintaining a connection with someone who consistently deceives you. In the workplace, for example, vigilance is crucial. Suppose you discover a colleague has lied about their contributions to a project. Instead of reacting with anger, the Stoics would advise a calm and rational approach. Confront them with the evidence and observe their response. If they become defensive or try to shift the blame, it's a sign of their dishonesty. On the other hand, if they admit their mistake and take steps to rectify it, they might be worth giving another chance. Protecting yourself from harmful behaviors while maintaining your peace and integrity involves developing the crucial skill of setting boundaries. Boundaries define what you will and will not accept in your relationships, and are essential for protecting your mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. The Stoics, who emphasize personal integrity and inner peace, would view boundary setting as fundamental to maintaining a virtuous and tranquil life. First and foremost, it's important to recognize that setting boundaries is not about being harsh or unkind. It's about respecting yourself and ensuring that others respect you as well. The Stoics believed in the importance of self-respect and living in harmony with our true nature. By setting clear boundaries, you're not only protecting yourself but also fostering healthier interactions with others. When it comes to setting boundaries, clarity is key. You need to be specific about what behaviors you will not tolerate and communicate this clearly and assertively. For example, if you have a friend who frequently belittles you or puts you down, you might say, "I appreciate our friendship, but I won't tolerate being spoken to disrespectfully. If this continues, I will have to distance myself." This approach is direct and leaves no room for misinterpretation. According to Stoic principles, this kind of clear communication helps maintain order and respect in relationships. Another important aspect of setting boundaries is consistency. It's not enough to state your boundaries once and expect others to adhere to them without reminders. You must consistently enforce your boundaries, even when it's uncomfortable or difficult. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, emphasize the importance of discipline and perseverance. By consistently upholding your boundaries, you demonstrate self-respect and teach others how to treat you. If someone repeatedly crosses your boundaries, it's a clear sign that they do not respect you or your limits, and it may be necessary to reassess the relationship. In the workplace, for instance, imagine you have a colleague who frequently interrupts you during meetings, undermining your contributions. You might assertively address this by saying, "I value our discussions, but I need to finish my points without interruption. Please allow me to speak, and then I will give you the floor." If the interruptions persist, you must continue to reinforce this boundary, perhaps involving a supervisor if necessary. In personal relationships, consistency in enforcing boundaries can be more challenging but equally important. Suppose you have a family member who often makes critical comments about your life choices. You might set a boundary by saying, "I respect your opinions, but I need you to refrain from criticizing my decisions. If this continues, I will limit our interactions." Consistently upholding this boundary, despite potential discomfort or familial pressure, is crucial for maintaining your peace and integrity. Additionally, the Stoics would advise cultivating inner resilience and emotional fortitude to withstand the pushback that often accompanies boundary setting. This means accepting that you cannot control others' reactions, only your response to them. By focusing on your thoughts and actions, as Epictetus advised, you can remain steadfast in your boundaries without being swayed by external pressures. It's also essential to practice self-compassion. Setting and maintaining boundaries can be difficult and may sometimes lead to feelings of guilt or anxiety, especially if it means distancing yourself from certain individuals. Remember that prioritizing your well-being is not selfish but necessary for leading a balanced and fulfilling life. The Stoics valued self-reflection and self-improvement, which includes recognizing your needs and honoring them. It's also important to remember that setting boundaries is not a one-time event but an ongoing process. As relationships evolve, your boundaries may need to be adjusted. For instance, in a work environment, you might need to set boundaries around your availability and workload to prevent burnout. You could say to a colleague or supervisor, "I am happy to help with this project, but I cannot take on additional tasks beyond my current responsibilities." The Stoics would advise us to balance our duties and not overextend ourselves to the detriment of our well-being. One of the most challenging aspects of setting boundaries is dealing with the pushback or resistance you might encounter. People who are used to getting their way, especially those with controlling or manipulative tendencies, may not take kindly to your newfound assertiveness. They might react with anger, guilt-tripping, or even attempts to undermine your confidence. The Stoics teach us to remain calm and steadfast in the face of such challenges. Marcus Aurelius wrote about the importance of maintaining our composure and not being swayed by the negative emotions of others. When you encounter resistance, stay firm and remind yourself that your boundaries are necessary for your well-being. In some cases, setting boundaries might mean making difficult decisions, such as distancing yourself from certain individuals, or even ending relationships that are toxic or harmful. This can be a painful process, but it's essential for preserving your mental and emotional health. The Stoics would remind us that our primary responsibility is to our virtue and well-being. Seneca often spoke about the importance of choosing our associations wisely, recognizing that the company we keep can significantly impact our character and happiness. By distancing yourself from those who consistently violate your boundaries, you are making a powerful statement about your self-worth and commitment to living a virtuous life. It's also helpful to seek support from others when setting boundaries. This could mean talking to trusted friends, family members, or a therapist about your experiences and getting their input and encouragement. Sharing your struggles and successes with boundary setting can provide you with valuable perspective and strengthen your resolve. The Stoics valued community and the support of like-minded individuals. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the interconnectedness of humanity and the importance of mutual support. By leaning on your support network, you can find the strength to uphold your boundaries and maintain your well-being. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 4 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Setting boundaries is an ongoing process that requires regular reflection and adjustment. As relationships and circumstances change, your boundaries may need to be reassessed and modified. For instance, in a work environment, you might need to establish boundaries around your availability and workload to prevent burnout. You could communicate to a colleague or supervisor, "I am happy to help with this project, but I cannot take on additional tasks beyond my current responsibilities." The Stoics would advise balancing our duties without overextending ourselves to the detriment of our well-being. Dealing with pushback or resistance is one of the most challenging aspects of setting boundaries. People accustomed to having their way, especially those with controlling or manipulative tendencies, may not respond well to your newfound assertiveness. They might react with anger, guilt-tripping, or attempts to undermine your confidence. The Stoics teach us to remain calm and steadfast in the face of such challenges. Marcus Aurelius wrote about the importance of maintaining our composure and not being swayed by others' negative emotions. When you encounter resistance, stay firm and remind yourself that your boundaries are essential for your well-being. Moreover, the practice of self-care plays a pivotal role in the establishment and preservation of boundaries. This encompasses dedicating time to personal rejuvenation, indulging in activities that bring joy and relaxation, and nurturing both physical and mental well-being. The Stoic philosophy underscores the significance of self-care as fundamental to cultivating a virtuous existence. Epictetus, in particular, emphasized the imperative of tending to our well-being so that we may effectively discharge our duties and serve others. By prioritizing self-care, you communicate a profound message. Your welfare is not only crucial but also worthy of safeguarding. It's essential to recognize that setting boundaries is an act of self-respect and self-compassion. It involves acknowledging your inherent worth and steadfastly refusing any attempts to diminish it. Stoic teachings remind us that our value is derived not from external validations but from our own actions and moral integrity. By establishing and upholding boundaries, you align yourself with these principles and cultivate a life characterized by tranquility, virtue, and resilience. Always remember that your peace and integrity are invaluable, and it's paramount to protect them from any encroachments. Setting boundaries isn't merely a defensive measure, it's a declaration of your self-worth and a commitment to living a principled life. I appreciate your presence here today, and I'm grateful that you've chosen to join me in exploring the principles of Stoic Tell You. Your participation means a lot, and I hope you found our discussion insightful and beneficial. For further exploration, please look at the suggested videos on your screen. They delve deeper into various aspects of Stoicism and offer additional perspectives that might resonate with you. Remember, strength and wisdom are cultivated through consistent practice and reflection. Stay true to your principles and values as you continue on your journey. Embrace each moment as an opportunity to grow and learn, embodying the teachings of Stoicism in your daily life. Don't forget to like and share this video with friends whom you think will be inspired by the Stoic principles, and subscribe to our channel to not miss any videos that will help you become more steadfast and resilient in life. Let's continue this journey together by watching the next videos displayed at the end of this video. And remember, every day, every step leads towards self-improvement and contributes to creating a better world.